Welcome back to the show. We now continue our look back at the best of the action from last year's Snowboard Freeride World Tour. Kirkwood, California was the location of the fourth stop on the tour, a small core resort situated at the back of South Lake. Kirkwood has a big reputation for its free-riding terrain. The event would take place on a permanently closed area of the resort called the Cirque, a steep, tree-laden face with a base of hard volcanic rock. Under bluebird skies, Shannon Yates from Snowboard, Utah dropped in and picked up a unique line, dropping into a tight chute, riding it down to the finish to take third place. Elodie Mouton from Annecy, France narrowly missed out on first place with her run. Starting off slowly at the top, she picked a creative line down the face before linking two airs over the Cirque's volcanic rock. Leading the rankings with a series of second places, Margot Rizzi from the French Pyrenees finally managed her maiden win of the season. Her first place here means she would go to Fieberbrunn with a commanding lead in the overall rankings. Coming into Kirkwood as points leader, Ralph Backstrom sent a big floaty air over a huge boulder. However, he butt-checked his landing. No podium today, just enough to retain his overall position as tour leader. Taking the right-hand side of the face, Sammy Lubka stomped a stylish method air to kick off his run. Into the cliff band below, and Lubka pulled off a stomped double drop. Keeping his flow, a second place for Lubka and second place in the overall rankings. But it was to be a local wildcard Ryland Bell's day. Familiar with the terrain, a confident Bell set himself up for a big backside 360, stomping his landing. Already scoring highly, Bell then dropped one more cliff to complete his run, taking first place by a significant margin. Norway's Pia Nick Gunderson continued her climb up the rankings with her run in Kirkwood. Her fast, controlled turns and no hesitation jumping gained her plenty of points to take second place and move into second in the overall rankings. Christine Hagen came to Kirkwood leading the rankings. Dropping into the Cirque, she started strong and fluid, but then out of nowhere she came unglued, catching her ski and spinning out of control, a bitter blow. Badly in need of a podium finish, Squaw Valley's Jackie Passo headed skiers right out of the gate, skiing a smart, controlled run. She made full use of the terrain and into first place. Vermont native Lars Chickering Ayres set the bar high, jumping through a scattering of potentially run-ending rocks. More fast turns for Chickering Ayres were rounded out with a final air on the last cliff band and making him the one to beat. France's Julien Lupin started slowly and then dropped two cliffs. Tracking across the face, he threw a trademark backflip, landing it cleanly. One big final drop, all landed cleanly, meant a good score for Lopez, but not quite enough to beat Chickering Ayres. Leading the rankings, Drew Tabka started off his run in style with a big 360, but failed to land it cleanly, hip-checking as he got sucked into a patch of soft snow. Another messy 360 saw Tabka slide into 13th place, just enough to hang on to his overall lead. Making its way back to Europe, the tour finally arrived in Fieberbrunn in Austria. After 5 days of snowfall, the event was finally underway, a last chance for the athletes to make it to the final in Verbier. Taking place on the Wildsee Loader, the contest face was steep and long and 600 meters of vertical drop. Utah resident Shannon Yates took a challenging line but landed badly in the mixed snow, finishing 5th place but still in contention for the overall. Tour leader Margot Rizzi rode a conservative line in Fieberbrunn, making only 6th place and leaving the title race open going into Verbier. Elodie Mouton chose the rider's right-hand side of the face. A series of powder turns and a good-sized no-hesitation air near the bottom were enough to win the event on a day of cautious riding from the snowboard women. Struggling with his form, Aurélien Routon went hard out of the gate, landing a 5-meter air into a cloud of powder. Keeping his speed, Routon ripped down the face, shredding powder and popping fast airs off the windlets. A committed cliff drop took him to the top of the leaderboard, although he'd have to wait to find out his position. Jonathan Charlet charged out of the gate, jumping a huge 12-meter air over the rocks. jumping another solid 8-metre drop into deep snow. Charlet spun out of control, but he quickly regrouped, popping a 360 off the rollover. A final 4-metre jump capped off an impressive run for Charlet, bumping Rutan into second place. Sami Lubka started cautiously before riding the ridgeline to hit a perfect 4-metre air into the next chute. Riding with speed, Lubka then hit a series of small, fun airs. He drops a small cliff below, taking first place and moving into first in the overall rankings. Opening the comp in bib 1, Jackie Passo set the bar high, laying down a fast double drop, then taking on the biggest cliff of the day. She sent it with no hesitation to take third. With 2 second-place finishes already under her belt, Nadine Varner followed Passo's line. Then moving on to a hefty cliff jump, Varner threaded a narrow landing like a seasoned vet to take first place. And with Hagen out of the tour due to injury, Varner would move into the top spot in the overall rankings. Yes, first place at the World Tour is just amazing, of course. But now I put a lot of pressure on myself going into Verbier. After a low-profile season and with nothing to lose, Silas Chickering Ayres blew everyone away with a strong line choice and a no-hesitation jump off one of the biggest cliffs. Skiing on, Chickering Ayres banged out a second huge cliff, taking the top spot, but with many riders still to go. But for Tabke and the other riders, it was more about staying on their feet and securing enough points for the overall title. Swiss rider Jeremy Heitz blew his title hopes in dramatic style, badly injuring his hip, but he'll be back in 2014 and one to watch for sure. And you can never bet against Barker. The reigning world champion charged into his line, stomping a series of cliff drops to take third place, sliding back into title contention once again. But the action wasn't over quite yet, as fellow Swedes Willy Lindberg dropped into the face. Going even bigger than Barkred, Lindberg stomped into second place, beating Barkred by a narrow margin. Silas Chickering Ayres would take the top spot with his maiden victory. With only the highest ranked riders making the cut, the tour headed to Verbier in the Swiss Alps for the final. A veritable mecca, Verbier has been hosting contests on the legendary Bec de Ros for the past 18 years. With 800 metres of vertical drop, the athletes face an intimidating leg-burning descent through a labyrinth of rocks. With the title race now between her and Mouton, Margot Rizzi dropped in confidently on the Bec. Riding with good speed, she hits her first cliff, but checking her landing slightly. 2 more well-stomped airs from Rizzi, but it's only good enough for third place. It was Elodie Mouton, who progressed so much during the season, who made the standout run. She hit the first cliffs, confidently landing well in the steep powder. Into the track snow below, she hit an unridden feature, landing it cleanly. A well-deserved first place, as well as the overall title of Freeride World Champion, Snowboard Women. I've watched the Verbier Extreme since I was little. It's really a dream to have achieved this. I've never come before, and now I've come here, taking part and won the title as well. With 3 riders still in the running for the title, the men's snowboard final was set to be a gripping contest. Still alive for a chance at the title, Jonathan Charlet rode into the heart of the Bec, slowing down for the loose snow before hitting his first jump. He put on an impressive display of riding, but it wasn't enough to secure the title, and Charlet will still have to wait until this winter for his revenge. Local and 3-time world champ Xavier Delarue dropped in left, but then caught the nose of his board in a dangerously exposed section of the face. Composing himself, Delarue carried it on in style, but sadly he was out of the running for his podium place. In second place overall, a sight, Aronian Rutan dropped in. Riding with speed and control, Rutan hit another small cliff and then powered down the face, hitting a series of small features at high speed to take second place. Not enough for a world title, but nonetheless a huge step up for Rutan. Sadly though, it wasn't to be for Sami Lubka, and after an epic contest season he blew his title hopes with an unfortunate tumble. However, big mountain rider Ralph Backstrom was in his element on the Bec. Backstrom charged his first cliff, stomping the landing. Gunning it down the face, he threw big, powerful turns and a series of fast airs. Threading the middle of a couloir at Mach 10, Backstrom launched a final air, landing it in perfect control. An epic run for Backstrom that would go down in freeride history. Backstrom more than earned his first place, and with it the overall title of Freeride World Champion. Nadine Wallner, the young Austrian rookie, was now competing for her first time on the back. With a good chance of a title, Wallner rode cautiously but still managed an impressive cliff drop. Season wildcard Lorraine Huber took a no-hesitation line into a big cliff, stomping her landing. Arriving at the last cliff band, she took another good drop to impress the judges and push Wallner out of the top spot. Last to go was wildcard Matilda Rappaport. No stranger to high-stakes riding, she hit 2 quick airs near the top, then also hit her first cliff with confidence. Throwing smooth powder turns, Rappaport took another large drop, clearing it comfortably. Her fluid, confident riding style won her first place, but it was Nadine Wallner who'd take the overall title of world champion after a brilliant first season on the tour. With all the new stars, 2014 will be a great year for women's skiing. Any of the skiing men could win in Verbier, but only Lopez, Barkred and Tabke were still in the running for the title, and they had everything to lose as they got ready to drop in. Form favourite Drew Tabke dropped into the back. Struggling to find his line, Tabke nevertheless took a big 8-metre cliff band. Still skiing cautiously, Tabke dropped a final cliff, backslapping heavily, but it wouldn't be enough for a podium, and Tabke will have to wait and see. Title contender Julien Lopez took a unique line skier's right, combining a series of features into a perfectly timed triple drop. But unfortunately for him, it wouldn't be enough for a podium or the title. On the back for only his third time, Kevin Guri charged a major cliff line, stomping his landing in style. Taking a fast, powerful line, Guri launched into a tight 6-metre drop, again landing perfectly. One last no-hesitation drop and Guri was sitting in first place, although victory was by no means certain. With last year's champion Rennie Barkred still to go, everything still hung in the balance. Barkred showed exceptional ability handling this risky sector with intelligence and control. Despite 2 more high-speed drops, it wasn't quite enough to take first, meaning a stunning first win for Kevin Guri, who'll go into the 2014 season as one of the favourites. But it was Drew Tabke with his brand of intelligent, stylish skiing who'd take the overall title.
Winning the world title has always been my goal. I don't try to ski to win all competitions, but the title has kind of been my plan the whole time. But I've never had a podium here in Verbier on the Bec de Ras, and that's just a really hard, amazing thing that some people never are able to do, and so I think I'm going to have to come back and try to get another good run in a podium here in Verbier.
So 2013, a classic year for the Freeride World Tour. An abundance of snow on both continents and an array of talented riders all pushing the limits and progressing the sport. As the snow starts to fall once more in the mountains, we look forward to another year of mind-blowing action on the 2014 Freeride World Tour.